Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got an incredible guest on, Steve Mellor, who's going to be letting us know about his next upcoming product. Now, this is going to be really awesome for those of you who are interested in being able to kind of create an ebook, to create your own book in just a single day. So, Steve, great to have you on. Thanks ever so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
So you've got a brand new launch coming up on this Monday, on the 3rd of
I
March.
have, yes.
Tell us
hmm
all about it.
Well, um, I like to make things that help people make things. That's kind of my thing. And I was looking at, the problems that people had. In fact, we were on a call together when somebody came in and they said about AI and writing, and they didn't think that AI could write a book. And I thought, hang on, yes, it can. And I was kind of determined at that point to kind of go, this is how you would actually do it. And found myself creating these prompts to make a book, and it's created something that will actually make a book. In actually, if you just ran the prompts and you did nothing else, you could probably do it in about 10 minutes.
Wow.
But my thing is actually, you should read the book as well. You should, make it look good. And so, what Book in a Day does is it will show you how to take a day to really start to think about your book. And by the end of that day, you will have a complete book. Now, this sort of book, it's not a fiction book. It's a business book. It's a book that actually gives the people who are reading your book some sort of transformation. Because if you've ever looked at courses and things, that's what you've got to do. People will be at stage A
Yeah.
and they want to be at stage B, and your job is to get them from stage A to stage B. Well, these books do exactly that. The prompts will find the problem that your clients have got. They will figure out what the solution is and what steps the clients need to take to figure out that solution. And it will use that as the different chapters in the book. Each stage really is a different chapter in the book. So by the time they get to the end of the book, they've been able to go on this journey and have that transformational process. And what it means for people like you and me and the people who are watching this is that if you go to anybody who is selling courses on how to build lists and things, at some point they'll say, you need to have a product. And I've always thought, well, that's a course because I'm okay at sitting on a camera and talking random nonsense to strangers for hours on it. But most people aren't. And a lot of people don't like to be in front of the camera in the first place. And that's even if you are a native English speaker. And I know because I've talked to people who are not native English speakers who struggle terribly being on camera and being understood on camera. Well, now you don't have to be, because what you're getting here is something that you can sell as a product. And I've seen Facebook ads and Instagram ads where people are selling products for $30, $40, $50. And they are selling you a PDF, which is very much like the books that you will be creating with this course. So that's the sort of PDF. It's like a 10,000 word book. It's pretty substantial. Um, but it will give you something that you can then sell. It will plant your product in the sand, if you will. And the good thing about that, especially because people treat books as if they have some greater importance than anything else that we do, because the process of writing is always something that we think is a really important thing. Because of that, you've got something that builds your authority at the same time. Now, because you don't have to go and sit on camera to make a course, because you don't have to go and figure out how video works, or figure out how you can record slides or whatever it is. This is a really, really simple process. But there are still pitfalls that you can have when you're creating a book. And the biggest one that people have is design. So I can show you how to write a book in a couple of minutes. It's not that difficult. You put the prompts in, you figure out what you want to write about, and you get AI to do it. But the big thing about getting the course that I've got as well is it is going to show you how to take that information that you get out of AI, put it into a Google Doc, and make the Google Doc look like a proper book.
Right. Okay.
And that means that when you sell it, people just automatically give it more value. Now, I
Absolutely.
do have a module in there as well that says, look, if you want to sell this on KDP, there's a different tool that you can use. All of this is free, by the way. Once you've got the product, you don't need to pay for any of the tools that I'm using. They are all free in some way, shape, or form. But if you did want to do KDP, there is an option for doing that, which I wouldn't use. But if you just want to get that PDF out, not only, and I haven't told anybody else this, it's not on the sales page or anything. Not only do I show you how to make a Google Doc look like a proper book, I even give you a template. So all you've got to do is copy and paste your book from the AI into Google, and you've practically got your book ready to go in minutes, you know.
Brilliant.
And that's what I did to make all of the demos that are on the sales page. And you can read through all of those books. Now, people who've seen some of my stuff before might know that I released a product called Bookmark, which was how AI, you use AI, again, free tools, to create a book cover. And I did some examples for that. And so the examples on the sales page are actually the books of some of those example book covers that I created for that course,
Brilliant.
just because I was going, what can I write about for 4 or 5 books to
Ah,
show people what this
yeah.
can do? But yeah, so go and have a look at those because actually, I think those are they're pretty good quality and they didn't take forever to do. And you can do exactly the same thing for your business. By the end of the day, you could have a product. You could put it on Gumroad. You could sell it with adverts. You could put it on Warrior or JVZoo or wherever it is you want to sell it. And then tomorrow you do the whole thing again if you want, if you really want. So you can. This is a very quick way of building up a completely unique product catalog that nobody else has got. It's not like you're taking PLR that somebody else has created. This is your own unique thing with, in some cases, your own unique spin on stuff because you can tell the AI at the time, "Oh, I want to do it like this, and it'll do it for you. And then just getting something that is incredibly valuable for you and your business that you don't need to rely on anybody else to have in order to sell. You don't need to rely on an affiliate, or sorry, a vendor giving you an affiliate product and giving you access to it. You've already got your own thing. So that's what Book in a Day is, and I think that's actually why it's so valuable as well.
No, that's brilliant. So, I mean, one of the things, like, I'm definitely one of the later adopters, and people watching this will know that I was quite almost skeptic of AI when it first came out, and I've
Mm.
always been a little bit of a later adopter to it. And so, I think for people who are thinking that it's incredibly complicated to get started with AI, take it from someone who's kind of thought that for a while and then tried it and gone, okay, wow, this is incredible. And AI has come on a lot as well. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
that its ability to create these books might not have been doable even 12 months ago, right? But
I think you could have
certainly
done, but not in the same vein that you could have done it now, and
today.
certainly not for free. You would have had to have paid for Claude, or if you'd have played for Anthropic for Claude for access, you'd still have got to a point where it was rate limiting you on the amount of information that it would come back. You could
Yeah.
have done it in GPT-4, but again, you're still kind of hitting rate limits about 12 months ago. Now, I'll reveal which AI thing I'm using for this one because there's no value in keeping it secret. I'm using Google. I'm using Google's AI Studio, which is at the moment completely free. Now you've got to choose the right model, but that's easy enough to do. It's just a tick, it's a box on a form. It's simple. And I do have a video in there saying, look, make sure you use this model because some of the other ones are paid for now. But those aren't the only ones that are around anymore. There's people have been talking about DeepSeek. I wouldn't personally use DeepSeek, mostly because every time you try and use it, it says the servers are busy. But other than that, there is that model and it is available and anyone can use it. And it's not the only one. There's like 5 or 6 others out there that are perfectly acceptable to use to put these prompts into. So
Um,
and even now, the free version of ChatGPT, the free version of Claude, you could still use those to start the process off, even if you've got to finish it over a bit of a longer period of time because of your rate limits on it. So there's plenty of reasons to do it. But you said earlier, people think that AI is very difficult to get into, and in some respects, it is, because this is the journey for most people who are going on to AI. First of all, they go AI. that's a really interesting thing. I'll have a look at that. And then they go on to AI and they try a few prompts out, and it looks pretty promising. And then they actually try and get it to do something. And that's when things fall down, because when you actually try and get it to do something, you'll realize that actually each AI has got its own quirks and it needs to be prompted in a certain way. So you go off and you look for prompt packs. This, by the way, was my journey into AI as well. So I'm not any different from anybody else. You went on, I will look for prompt packs, and I found loads of prompt packs, and get this thing, and you get 10,000 prompts that you can use in your business. And no, you can't use them in your business,
Useless. Yeah.
because all they've done is they've got the tiniest little prompt that doesn't really think the way that we think. And so the trick to AI is always to make it think the way that you do, and make the steps that it has to take the same steps that you take. Now, the benefit of that with something like this is that I have handwritten these prompts, and for about 10 years I was a jobbing writer, so I know exactly what you have to do to put a book together. And so my thought process in putting a book together is kind of in the prompts. It kind of goes, right, well, first you do this, and then you do that, and then you do that. And the other thing to remember with prompting, if you really want to get into this, is multi-step prompting. So you don't just do one prompt and expect it to do everything. You Because the AI can only send a certain amount of data one way and receive a certain amount of data back. So you make it so that it's receiving little bits of data one way, and then gradually over time you're building up something which is bigger. Now, authors do this all the time. There's a thing called the snowflake method, which they use in order to build a book up. And I've told the AI to use a very similar process in order to get this book writing. There's a few other tweaks and things in there as well, but essentially that's what you're getting. You're getting the process of how to do something which is a lot bigger than most people would do. Most people don't write 10,000 word books with AI.
Yeah. No, brilliant. Like it is, I'm always amazed at these things because it wasn't very long ago. I mean, I've been doing this, I've been in this business now sort of, almost 10 years. And it was always the thing, right? And I talk about it a lot, going back to basics. If you're just starting out, what do you need to do? Well, you need to build a list, right? And to do that,
Mm-hmm.
we always talk about, right, we want to create some kind of giveaway. You want to create, maybe it could be an ebook, maybe something like that you can exchange in receipt for an email address, so you can start building that list. So not even
Exactly.
going in depth as actually building their own product, but just as a free giveaway. And when I started, the option was option A. I write it myself. I have to write it. I have to design it. I have to put it all together myself. And that's option A. Or option B is I go the PLR route, right? So I find something that
Yeah.
somebody else has written, and I know that there's going to be a lot of other people out there using the exact same content, the same format,
Yeah.
in many
Mm-hmm.
cases, even the same cover, right? If I don't even bother changing that. So I think nowadays, if you're looking at this and you're going, right, I know that I need to build a list. You've got to the stage where, okay, I've got to start actually making some money online. I've got to take some action. And you know
Mm-hmm.
that building that email list is the first great step. Well, now being able to create a really high quality book that actually
Mm.
it looks like something that could well be sold for, 20, 30, $40 is going to
That
just
is the
build that
idea. Yeah.
trust with your list so much
Yeah.
more easier than ever buying, PLR. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not knocking PLR. I've used PLR many times over the years.
I
It
think it was
can
it
be
was very
good.
good for its time, wasn't it?
Oh,
But
definitely.
we're
And
beyond that now, because there are better ways of getting the same thing.
well, you've got to think about it from the point of view of that people are buying in to you, right? That means they're buying
Mhm.
into your quirks. They're buying into your way of writing emails. If you're writing email, they're buying into you. So if you get PLR from somebody else that writes in a completely different style, or talks about things in a different education level than perhaps what you would normally
Mm.
talk about, then there's a massive disconnect, right? Because it's like,
Yeah.
well, it's
Yeah.
very obvious that you didn't write this. Whereas a well-trained AI that's understands how you put things together, knows the sorts of things that you do, and it's got access to the right information, can give you very convincing content. Um,
And I mean, throughout all of the copy that I try and do, I try and make sure that it's accessible to, I mean, they say what, ninth graders, don't they? That's the level that you have to work towards. Because if you do anything for for higher grades, then there's a large chunk of people who just won't respond to it at all. So it needs to be a more simple, more direct language, something uh, that most of us don't even think about. Most of us just kind of write the way that we
Yeah.
write and then expect people to understand it. There's a lot of people who don't understand it, but yeah, actually might benefit from your information.
And it just depends on the market, right? If you're writing something that's targeted at people with a degree, right, then you might need to write slightly more academic, right? If that's your market,
Sure.
then that's one thing. But for anything that's mass market, one of the things that I love doing, whether I write it myself or I write it using AI, is I take it and put it into the free Hemingway app, right? So there's a free app called
Right. Yeah.
Hemingway,
Yeah.
and it'll just go through it and say, this is not a great word to use here, and it's roughly grade whatever for the writing. And so if I've gone too technical into something, I've made it too long, then it can just help me, and that's completely free, right? I
Mm.
like to do that, and you could use the same with these AI prompts. You can take them,
Of course
the
you can.
AI output, put them in there, and there's also little things that you see in AI. Like sometimes they use quite a lot of kind of it'll say something, and what you would do in natural voice might be to put a comma, or it might be to
And yet
stop
it
that
won't. Yeah.
sentence and write a new sentence, whereas it won't. It'll just continue it all on.
There are certain things that AI will do, and you can't stop it from doing it either, where it uses tautology. So tautology is when you say a sentence or part of a sentence, and then the second part of a sentence is redundant because it's contained in the first part of a sentence. Yes, there's a lot of tautology that goes on where it'll have a run-on sentence that is just saying exactly the same thing as it's just said. You can't stop it. But I my thing is yeah, read what AI puts out and just make little corrections here and there just to fix anything like that. Because actually, that doesn't take too long on a 10,000 word book, which is basically what you're generating with the prompts that I've made. You'll spend an hour, maybe two, just going through it and just fixing those little grammatical things.
Mhm.
Whereas most of it actually is going to be perfectly fine. And it's always a good idea to read your book so you know what it's all about.
And that to me is the whole beauty of what you've got here, because actually for me, when I'm doing this, right, that 1 to 2 hours is even before I start writing, because I've got to sit down and think,
Mm.
what do I want to write about? And if I don't know enough, or I feel like I don't know enough to fill the 10,000 words, right, it's now research
Yeah.
time. So that's
Mm.
kind of the big difference, because that writer's block, or whatever you want to call it, has often been the stage for me of going, you know what, I'll think about that tomorrow, right? And I mean, how many people are guilty of that who are watching this, right? You go to do
And we
something,
all are. Let's face it, we all are.
and you,
We
you
all are.
sit down and you go, oh, I know kind of what I want to do, but how do I get it started? What's the first bit of this going to be, and what's that? With using your product now and the prompts, you can actually have that AI get the information, start writing it, and then what do you have to do? A little bit of changes, maybe a small amount
And
of
then,
free.
I mean, it's very minimal as well. And you know what?
And
It
that's if you
bases all
want
of
to.
this on your niche. This is why I say you can use these prompts in any niche because it
Yeah.
literally you plug in the niche that you want to be in, and it will come back and say, okay, well, there's all of these topics that your clients are going to be interested in. Which one do you want to do? And if you want to do something completely different, you just say, well, I want to do this instead, and it'll go on. It'll pull up all the data, and then it can go into the process and write the book. But if people don't know what it's like being a writer as a job for a living, you essentially you sit down on a Monday morning, you've got a blank screen in front of you, and then your eyes bleed for 7 days. And that's it. There's nothing else. You just sit staring at it until you write something because it's your job. You've got to do it and you've got to hit deadlines. And it's difficult. It's not an easy job at all. People think, oh, well, I want to be a writer because you get lots of money, which, unless you're a very popular writer, you don't get lots of money at all. Um, but this is like the shortcut to doing the things that you've always thought, oh, well, wouldn't it be great if,
Mhm.
without actually having to do the painful bit of sitting down and putting putting pen to paper, virtual pen to paper, and actually getting your book written yourself. This is why my job for quite a while was a ghostwriter And the reason was because there's plenty of people who want to have a book out and can get a publishing deal, but don't want to write the book.
Yeah.
And so,
And do
essentially
you
what
not
you'll
sort
you
of see that that
yeah,
entire landscape right now is just totally changing with the
nope,
use of AI? No.
nope, not at all. What's really interesting, actually, because there's this big debate over whether AI is going to replace artists and replace people who are doing other things. To some extent, there's always going to be a little bit of tearing around the edge,
Sure.
is what I call it anyway. But for the most part, when you have, let's say, AI art, it's going to be used eventually by artists. And the people who are using it now to create things that actually aren't particularly good, that's going to go by the wayside because people will just get fed up with it. They won't have anything to do with their pictures. I mean, they'll probably still generate them and they'll probably still enjoy generating them, and that'll be something that they can do. But it's not something that people are going to necessarily buy for vast amounts of money in the art world. And certainly, again, jobbing artist, your job is to build an audience and then sell them the art. Because the trick is people don't buy the art, they buy the artist. Same with
I
any of this stuff.
I remember the rise and fall of NFTs. That was the
Yeah.
thing of the moment, right? And
Yeah.
there was all of these,
Hmm.
and it was a few different things, but a lot of it was based around art, right? Or certain
Well, look,
characters that they were
imagine that we
created,
had
and
AI art in the era of NFTs. It would have been crazy,
yeah,
absolutely crazy. But
massive.
here's the thing to remember: these changes of, well, now this can do this job. We've been through it before, and we've been through it in fairly recent memory. Most of us, I would suggest, could remember Photoshop when we first heard about it.
Mhm.
It was what, 30 years ago at most, and before that, it existed, but nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
And so, the photography world went through this whole process about 30 years ago. And what's come out of it is nobody lost their job. More jobs were created because there were people who now need to know how to use Photoshop to do retouching. And it helped the whole digital era of photography come in, which has been a massive boost to photography. And
Made it easier than
going
ever
back even
before.
further, yeah, going back even further to the sort of the well, the early days of the camera, we're talking about the sort of the 1800s. People like Van Gogh, they hated photography. They hated the whole idea of it
Mhm.
because they were a painter and they thought, well, nobody's going to buy my painting if you could just point a thing at it and take a picture. But actually, what happened was some people like photography and some people like painting, and the two still exist. There are still people who do commercial art. There's still people who do, commercial photography. That's not going to change. The difference with AI is it's going to make people's jobs easier when they finally figure out actually this is probably a good thing. And a case in point, actually, I talk about photography a lot because I'm a photographer, so I kind of know that industry a bit. Um, the case in point with photography is bird photography. So with bird photography, you need to have a really big lens to get very tiny things very close. And some of those lenses are 20, 30, 40,000 pound to get just one lens. So there's a lot of people who would be very good at bird photography, just been completely locked out of the system. Well, now you can get a lens that is maybe £2,000 that will do roughly the same thing, but it's not as fast. Fast just means that it's got more grain in it when the picture comes in. You can take that grainy image, you can put it into a denoiser, and you can get results that are just as good as people with the bigger lenses. So again, it's opening up the art form to something, but it doesn't mean that things are going to change. And I know from people who are still doing the job, people are still using ghostwriters because AI is fine, but it's not the same job, and AI can't do the same job. And so some people will use AI, sure, but that doesn't really mean that those traditional businesses are going to change very much.
Brilliant, brilliant. So this is kicking off on Monday, and for all of this, let us know how much is all of this going to cost? $100.
Well, it's on
Should
a
be.
dime sale at the
Okay.
moment. It should be, well, to be fair, if I was really selling it and doing workshops and things, it'd probably be several grand because I can bring a lot to the table when it comes to writing. But to get the prompts, to get the this is how you do the book quickly and easily, to get all of that stuff, and to be able to write books in under a day, the starting price is going to be $9. And the sooner you get it, the less you pay. That's it.
Fantastic. Right, $9 for that. Wow. Okay, so $9, they're going to be able to create these kind of ebooks, 10,000 words. So all they need is this course, and you mentioned there's nothing else to buy, right? They don't have to
Nothing else to buy. Everything else
purchase
is
the
free.
AI. They don't have to have a premium
Nope.
version of anything. They don't need a certain type of word processor because you're using Google Docs, which is free.
Nope.
It's
It's all
all
free.
completely free. So once they've picked that up, I presume you've got some sort of upgrades, some optional upgrades that are offered. What's sort of
Well,
coming up after the original purchase?
let me tell you about the toolbox. Now, over the last few months, I've been releasing these things, the marketing toolshed toolbox. And the idea is these are tiny products that solve a specific problem. And so, what is in the funnel is all of the products that I've sold before. The first one might be of most interest to people who pick up Book in a Day because it's called Bookmark and it lets you create covers with a free AI tool. So you can, in the course, I show you you can use Canva and just create a cover in Canva, which is fine and easy to do. If you want something which is really new and different, and using a product, an AI that gets the text right 9 times out of 10, then you can pick this up and it will give you that. There's a custom GPT that you can pick up alongside that as well, which just makes the process a bit simpler and a bit sort of quicker to do. There's also CrowdWorks, which if you've seen these UGC ads, the ads where people are talking to a camera, you can do those with AI now, and I show you how to do that for free. So the big thing about the toolbox stuff is I want people to have access to tools. I don't want you to pay a fortune for them.
Yeah.
So most of the stuff that I've got, in fact, all of the stuff I've got, is using free tools that anybody can access today.
And I think
I've
that's a
also
lot of,
got Brand Aid.
I think
I've also got
sometimes,
Brand Aid. Brand Aid tells you or shows you how you can make logos or T-shirt designs. The same process, similar prompts that will do the same thing, similar AI thing that will do the same thing. And again, there's a custom GPT that you can pick up with that as well. There's an advanced CrowdWorks that gives you a bit more in-depth information into stuff. And then I've got two of my favorite products. They're little tiny products, but one is how to be confident on camera. If you're not good on camera, but you feel that you need to be, that'll help immensely. I've had some really good feedback from that. The other one's Quick Start Video. If you have no idea what to do with video, it just takes you through the basics so that you can get up and running. And all of those are in the funnel, and they're not ridiculously expensive either. It's not you're not going to be paying hundreds of pounds for them. They're all little products that solve a little problem.
brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, and I think, with this AI stuff, right? I think most people kind of sometimes worry about picking up AI products because they think, well, we don't know what the language is going to be, and I don't know, do I have a subscription to this? Is it going to be expensive? Because there are some modules out there, there are some tools which are quite restrictive, but if you're
Yeah.
building everything with free tools, then that's really awesome because people know they can get in with this today. It's starting at
Mhm.
$9, which is really, it's these days it's the price of two lattes, right? Less than, right?
I've said in the on the sales page, you can buy this today, you can be an author by tomorrow. But the fact is, if you get this, right now, and you've got a good few hours to work on it, you could be an author tonight. You could have your book done in hours, and then you've got something that you can sell. And I think this is one of the reasons that this is why I do what I do. It's like a support course for everybody who's making courses about how to make lists, you know, because once you've made a list, you need something that you're going to do with that list. Well, sell them your book because that's a great
Absolutely.
thing to do. And when you've run out of sales for your book, write another one and sell that to them as well.
And that
And
that is
go on.
definitely one of the best things to do because I think there's plenty of times and plenty of courses or people or marketers that say build your list, right? Build the
Yeah,
list. And so it's like, okay, I've built the list, and now what? And then if you can't get approved for certain affiliate promotions or whatever, you don't need to.
yeah,
You don't need an affiliate promotion to get approved for because now you have your own product.
you've got your own
Um,
thing. Yeah.
and that really takes us kind of into some of the bonuses that I've put together for people who decide to pick this up. I've been through it. In fact, I've been through all of the tools in the marketing toolbox over the last few months, and they're incredible
Hmm.
tools. And this one really does just make so much sense, I think, to people, whether you're starting out or you're still building the business, or even if you're an experienced business, like having something that you can put together in just a couple of hours that's really high quality is pretty awesome. And so what I'm going to show you, there's a number of bonuses, and I'll put the link down below this video. If you're watching it on YouTube, drop down into the comments. If you're watching this on the bonus page, scroll below, you'll see them. And there's a couple of bonuses in there, and one of those bonuses that I put together is I'm going to actually show you how to take this and launch it on a platform such as Warrior Plus, right? So you can actually take what you've created and turn it into money, which I really think is one of the best things that you can do about it. So thanks ever so much, Steve. I've appreciated having you on. It's been awesome catching up with you.
It's
I
been
highly,
great.
highly
Yeah.
recommend those of you go. Look, this is $9 when it starts. It might be 10 by the time you look at it. It might be more. So move quickly, drop down below and grab your copy with all of those bonuses there as well. Is there anything you want to add, Steve, just before we go? Anything that we missed off?
I think that's everything, but I think you're really right on the one thing that you've said there. You're constantly told you need to build a list. You then need to have something to do with it. Now, look, you can go and be an affiliate for someone, and actually, it's not as easy to be an affiliate as you think. My next product I'm working on at the moment is all about what the day in the life of an email marketer is like. You know, those ups
Not
and
as
downs. How
glamorous as
in God's
people
name
have
do
you
you write an
believe.
email? No, it's not. I mean, it's essentially you wake up, you talk to people on the internet, and then you go to bed. It's not that interesting. But you need to know this stuff because it's the stuff that people don't tell you. You know, one of the things that people don't tell you is how to make the product that they tell you you must have in order to compete. This shows you how to do it.
Absolutely. And it shows you how to do it as well for a crazy low amount of money, $9, and
Mm.
B, with completely free tools.
And
And
actually, we should stress this works in any niche. There
yeah,
is anything you can write a business book for, you can use that, and that is practically anything. There's maybe one or two entertainment niches that it might not work very well in because let's face it, there's not that much money in I don't know how to do synchronized swimming or something like that, you know. But there's
there'll always be
for
somebody
pretty
that will
much any
find that
niche,
niche. There'll be someone who say, "Oh, it doesn't work for
somebody
me
will buy
because,"
it.
but
Yeah, but for pretty
anything
much any other
mainstream.
business niche, then you can find this. Yeah, yeah,
Definitely. And it doesn't have to be, if you think about it, you think, well, I'm not really interested in building a list, which you should be. No matter what you're doing, what business, you should be building a list. But well, I always
hmm
get people who say, yeah, but I have a great Facebook community. And I come back to what I've said millions of times on this channel. Yeah, but you don't own that. If Facebook
yeah.
decides
What if
tomorrow
Facebook
they
shuts it
don't want
down?
you to be there, you're not going to be there.
Hmm.
Same with YouTube,
Yeah,
right? If YouTube changes the algorithm, decides that it doesn't like your content, YouTube doesn't like your
then that's
channel,
it.
you're gone.
Oh,
Good
I've
luck.
known people who have been banned
Oh,
from
so do
YouTube
I.
for
Lots of
pretty
people.
innocuous comments. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got two channels on there. One's for photography, and the other one's for Doctor Who. But there's every chance that one could get taken down because it just
I mean,
hits
it's a
YouTube
great
the algorithm
place.
the wrong way. You know.
It's a great place to be, but you're playing in somebody else's ball pit. That's what people have to
Yeah,
realize.
that's
And
true.
so
That's it. That's it.
if you have your own
Take ownership
community,
of your audience.
exactly.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And yeah, this product is an amazing way to do it. So drop down below, grab your copy now. Obviously, as always, if you've got any questions, hit me up below. Obviously, all those bonuses will be waiting for you. This is going on Warrior Plus. They'll be waiting for you inside of Warrior Plus after you check out. And make sure you do it before Sunday. So the price starts, we're going live on Monday the 3rd, all the way through to Sunday, which is, I think, the 9th on my calendar.
Yes.
Try
Yeah.
and grab it before then because after that, the price is going to jump. Still going to be worth every cent if you're watching this afterwards. But if you do get the chance to get in during that period, I highly recommend you make a move and actually create something of value. So
Mhm.
thanks ever so much, guys. I appreciate you being here. Steve, thanks for joining us. And I will catch you
Pleasure as
all
always.
on the next video. Bye, guys. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Dan Bradley here, and today I've got an incredible guest on who's going to tell you all about an incredible new product called Real Life Mastery. Now, this is going to be an incredible way for you to make some very different but potentially very profitable reels and videos. So, this is Mark Laxton. Welcome on to the channel. Very honored to have you here. Do you want to give us a little bit of information about what you've got coming up and what these people can look forward to?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Yeah, so I'm launching on Monday, the 24th of February at 11 a.m. EST. And just to give you an idea of how this all came about. So I've been doing marketing for a very long time, for about 10 years now, and launching some great products, and I love the feedback that I receive. And over the years, I've noticed a lot of products that tend to be quite similar, and especially nowadays with AI, there's a lot of stuff out there that's being put together, and it's a quick and easy fix, that kind of thing. And as well as that, reels are obviously really taking off. They're completely dominating social media now. So there are products that are kind of combining the two, with the popularity of reels and doing them quicker and easier with AI. So there's that, but there's also the other side where I've seen a lot of people, and there's also mentoring programs where people are being taught how to create these reels. And for me personally, I've seen this kind of training, and I'm not saying it doesn't work. Some of these, reels do work, and occasionally some of them go viral. But in general, what they are people with text on the screen. They might be looking at the camera and they're just not even saying anything. They're just going like this and pointing to speech bubbles or whatever that pop up on the screen. Or they'll be doing washing the dishes or brushing their hair or whatever. And there's text on the screen that you can barely make out what it says. And the idea behind those is just doing them 2, 3, 4 times a day, every single day for months or even years until one goes viral. But when I started seeing all this, for me personally, I was straight away thinking these people are struggling to get views because they're all creating the same content.
Right.
They're not standing out. If someone's scrolling through social media and they see another video with some text on it that they've just seen a minute ago, they just scroll past all this kind of stuff. It doesn't stand out. And we all, like anyone that does kind of video marketing, they know that within the first few seconds, you need to hook someone
Yep.
immediately. If you are, for example, if you're doing speaking on the video, then you generally have whatever you're saying in the first few seconds, you'd see a caption. So it kind of hooks someone. You know what it's going to be about.
Pulls them in, right? Gets
Yeah,
them
so it
excited
kind of
about what it's
stops
going to
them.
be.
You need to stop them from scrolling so they can carry on watching your reel. And I, so this is a little while ago now, I saw some reels that really did catch my attention. And it wasn't this same kind of stuff. It wasn't AI. It was a real person. And within the first 1 second, 2 second, it something happened, and I was like, "Well, what the hell happened there?" I don't know how they did that, but it just caught my attention straight away. And the rest of the reel, I couldn't stop watching it. In fact, I had to watch it over and over again to figure out like what just happened. How did they do that?
Hmm.
And anyone that knows about social media marketing and the algorithms and things like that, when you're watching something over and over and over again, that's boosting it up. So the way it was done was through transitions, basically moving from one thing to another, flowing nicely, blending together. And when I saw this, I noticed that the guy that was doing it, Mario, he's got just under 2 million followers. His reels are getting views between, some of them are reaching 5 million, 10
Wow.
million, 20 million views just on one reel. So obviously that caught my attention, because with doing marketing, then anything that's going to get you that amount of views is something very, very powerful for free. This is free content,
Right.
free
Free traffic.
traffic without paying for ads. So yeah, so I basically got in touch, went over to Bali, met the guy, got on so well, and discussed everything, and then put all this training together to teach people how to create these reels, but not only just to create them, so you can create them for literally anything you can think of, whether it's you're traveling, you want to create some nice footage, family events like weddings and things like that. But you could also then create these kind of reels as well to promote businesses. You can promote local businesses, you can promote international businesses. One of the things that caught my attention when we were speaking as well with Mario was that he said at one point because he was doing these reels and getting so much views and traffic and popularity with people, then businesses then start reaching out to him. And there was an international company that reached out, basically asked him to create a reel. They were going to pay him $1,000. He could have charged more, but he was, even at the time, he was thinking, okay, I'm going to try and go for $1,000 instead of keep doing them for a few hundred. They didn't even hesitate. They just said, okay, yeah, $1,000, and we want 3 of them or 4 of them. So these reels can take you literally 20 minutes to create. All you need is your phone. It's not any templates. There's not like, you've got a lot of different sites where you've got CapCut and places like that where you've got these templates where people are using to just drop in their content. But again, everyone's using the same stuff. But with this, you're actually learning the real skills on how to create these reels, how to do the transitions, how to edit them, film them, plan them, everything, and also how to deliver them to clients or customers. And it's all just with your phone. That's all he has with him all the time. When I was over in Bali, that's all he had. I had my laptop in my backpack. I was carrying a laptop, and I had all these different things in my backpack, and all he had was his phone. And he said, that's all I ever need. I don't need a laptop. I do everything just on my phone.
So this can be done with like any phone, right? Doesn't matter if you're an Android or you're in the iPhone camp. Doesn't matter, right? As
Doesn't matter.
long as you've got a phone, you're good
It's
to
got
go.
a camera.
It's got a camera, which pretty
Obviously,
much they all do these days.
yeah, not like with the old Nokia ones with little screens, but
Those
yeah.
were the
So
days.
any phone that's got a decent camera, yeah, whether it's iOS, Android, that's all you need, and that's all you have with you, and you have the skills. Then you know what you're how to look out for different things, how to plan the videos, how to shoot them, how to edit them. The whole thing is just done on your phone.
So this new course that you've got coming up then is going to show people literally how to do this kind of step by step, right? And all they need to make it work is the phone that they've probably already got in their pocket. Is that?
Yeah, exactly. And it's perfect for what I generally like as well. I do a lot of activities. I love traveling, that kind of thing as well. So I and the thing is, well, when you do those kind of things, when you're traveling, when you're doing activities, I just started up snowboarding. I've got a motorbike. I love going on the motorbike. I go to different events, all that kind of stuff. When you film that kind of thing, what do? You generally share that online anyway, don't you? So you don't film all this kind of stuff and then think, right, I'll just keep hold of that and I'll just store it away in a hard drive somewhere and then never show anybody. When you create some, you want to show these different events you've been to and your experiences and stuff. So you're sharing it anyway, but this way you're just making it so much more engaging. Generally, a lot of people, when they're filming stuff, whether they go to a nice restaurant or they go to a holiday and they're showing the resort, they generally just get the phone and they do that.
Yeah.
And they're just panning and showing everything around. Whereas this takes completely takes that away and shows you exactly how to create cinematic shots, capture different angles, capture, like, tell a story with the reel as well. So it's not just panning and showing where you are. It's actually so when someone, this is another thing that really helps it to and keep engagement as well, and keep people watching, is because it's telling a story. It's people can see what's happening and it gets to an end, and there's obviously the desired outcome, whether it's going to a restaurant, going to a coffee shop, showing the process and the making of the coffee, the sitting down. Then obviously at the end is someone relaxing and drinking a coffee. And enjoying it. That's what the whole point of going there. So it also includes and incorporates all of that as well in terms of storytelling. So anyone that goes through the training, whether they've got absolutely no experience whatsoever, or they've already create reels or create videos, or they, even people who have done professional videography, this is a totally different way of creating content that really catches people's attention. And it's not just the actual side of creating the content, but that's when you can then also go into, it's optional if you want to make a lot of money from this as well. Then we also include all the training and resources to help with every single step of the way to do that, to approach businesses, to what kind of pricing and stuff like that. And a lot of it is promoting products very subtly. There's no hard selling. So if you see, yeah, like I mentioned before, if you see a brand within a reel, that's potentially millions of people that are seeing that brand, but no one's going, buy this water bottle. This is really good and doing all that. It's just
And
very
this is things that brands have done like for years, right? Like a lot of
yeah,
brands will literally, like Coca-Cola, big brands like that will pay to have Coca-Cola products featured in film, in
yeah,
social media posts, all because they want that brand recognition just to be there, right? There's
yeah,
nothing that they're selling in it. They're not telling you, oh, buy Coca-Cola's new lime taste or whatever they're doing this
yeah,
week. It's literally just product placement. You see it and kind of subconsciously we go, Coca-Cola. We just
yeah,
see the brand and we get used to seeing it. And there's lots of brands. It doesn't even have to be huge brands like Coca-Cola. Lots of brands play for placement.
yeah,
And I've done it before. I've been watching something on Netflix or on YouTube or wherever it is, and you see something and you go, "Oh, that looks quite cool,"
yeah,
or that looks interesting. And even though the actual topic has got nothing at all to do
yeah,
with what
yeah.
that is. So would you say that's the easiest way for people to kind of make money with this would be to basically approach local businesses and offer this as a service? Or would you recommend that people try and build kind of like a social media following themselves
Well,
and monetize that content?
the main thing is with it is, and this is a learning point that Mario experienced, like learned the hard way, basically. Um, is first of all have something, whether you're generating leads and building your email list that you can then follow up with at a later date, whether it's a $5 product, like a PDF or something like that, or whether you're creating these reels to promote something else as an affiliate, lead them into a coaching program, or even doing it for a local business. The main thing is to have something in place, because in Mario's experience, he started creating these reels. One of them took off and had, I think it was 4 million, or no, 14 million views,
Wow.
and he had absolutely nothing in place. He didn't have a link in his description and in his bio or anything like that. He had absolutely nothing. So the way he explains it is, I had no buckets. He said it rained in my house and I
Mhm.
had no buckets. So
Yeah.
all of that traffic, all of those views went absolutely nowhere. So the first thing is to have something. This is what we cover as well within the monetization side of the training, but is to have things in place and automation that can then start generating leads and generating sales. So, like I say, that could be as simple as affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
And from that angle, if you imagine you've got some people that are doing affiliate marketing that are creating 3, 4 reels every single day that aren't grabbing anyone's attention. They're doing it in the way that the more I do it, the more likely at some point something's going to go viral. So they're
Yeah.
creating tons of content every single day without fail. They have to create content, 3 or 4 reels a day. So they're doing that. Or you've got some people that are, they don't want to be on camera. They don't want to, which you don't have to be on camera as well with this stuff. But they're choosing to go down the AI route. So they're just creating, content using AI, hoping that something will go viral. With that, you're creating absolutely, or you're having to create tons of content consistently in hope that something takes off. With this, you can create a single reel that's getting 200,000, 500,000, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million views from a single reel, because of the way it is, because it hooks people and keeps people watching, and because they watch it over and over again, and because they share it because it's a cool reel. So in a way, when they share it, they're actually doing your marketing for you. Um, so that's a much better way of generating leads and sales online. but then, as you mentioned as well, you're also learning and developing real skills, like real skills. See what I did there? So you're developing these skills that you have all the time then, so you can use these skills to capture moments in just general life.
Yeah.
You can turn, like, which is done as well, is you can make a cup of coffee and make it look like a really cool, engaging video, because of the way it's done. But then, because you've got those skills, then you can approach businesses and that kind of thing. But also, as well as that, and this is something that a lot of people do, is people that love traveling, like, digital nomads, that kind of thing. In a lot of cases, if you go somewhere and you're saying, like, this is the kind of content that I create, and it gets all these views, and your business, your brand can be within, in this kind of thing, getting all that, attention. I can create this content for you. Now, what happens quite often is that rather than the business owner paying out an expense, paying for you to create those reels, in a lot of cases, they'll say, okay, yeah, cool. Okay, we've got, you can stay here for 2 or 3 nights, create the content, so you've got a room, accommodation, wherever you are, for free. In a restaurant, eat as much as you want, eat whatever you want on the menu, because you're creating content to promote the restaurant. So you've got pretty much anything you can think of, an activity that you might go to, like, say I've just started snowboarding, I can film that and say, look, can I come and do a lesson and film it to promote, and they won't charge. So there's a lot. It's not just making money, but it's the kind of
The
lifestyle.
opportunities that come as
Yeah,
well
yeah,
from
huge
being able to
amounts
do
of
it.
opportunities. And again, once you start getting that traction, then you start getting big companies, like international companies,
Mhm.
reaching out to you, asking you to create content to promote that, and they're paying like thousands.
Brilliant. And how long would you say it takes to create one of these reels? If you say, right, I want to create this reel, let's say here in this restaurant, I mean, how long would it take someone to create one of those reels?
It can literally take you 5, 10 minutes, 10 minutes or something like that.
Right.
Because once you know what you're looking for,
Yep.
like I said, you're not, anyone sitting there thinking, I'm going to create a video of this restaurant, and generally would kind of just,
Pan
do all
around.
this stuff. Once
Yeah.
you know how to do this, you know exactly what shots to take, which kind of angles, and they're changing as well. That keeps people engaged. You don't record one clip for a long time. People just scroll past, and this is the thing. You're creating reels that keep people hooked, not just at the beginning, but all throughout the reel. They're keeping people hooked to watch it and to keep watching it over and over again. So once you know how to do it, you could literally spend 10 minutes. And then, like I say, you could even sit there, ideally, if you're at a restaurant with someone that you're with, you would actually talk to them as well. A lot of people I've seen in eating out and stuff with partners, and they don't even speak to each other the whole time. But so if that's the case, then you could literally sit there and edit the whole thing as well. So before you even leave the restaurant, you would literally have the whole thing done. And yeah, and then you could even show the owner or whatever there as well. But yeah, very quick and easy to create, and that's the beauty of it. You don't need anything else apart from your phone, which you've always got with you.
Brilliant, brilliant. So this is launching on JV Zoo, right? You're going to launch it on JV Zoo. This is going live on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what is this sort of thing going to cost? What people going to need to spend to get in? And talk us through as well, obviously, what they're getting, and if you've got any upgrades as well that people might need to consider.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so for the initial launch, during the launch period, to gain access to the creators bundle, which is where you'll learn all the transitions, how to edit the videos, how to put everything together, everything that you need to do that, then that's going to be $47 for a one time. That's it. And again, when you think about the money that you can actually make from this, that's crazy. After the launch, it's going to be going up to 67. So obviously, if you're going to get it, then it makes sense just to get it early. And then once you're in, you've got access to the members area. You've got all the training there. We're also continually adding more training. It's not just like a static thing, and that's all you're going to get. As we've also got the community, creators community. So when people are in there sharing their content, that kind of thing, and asking questions, then we'll also be adding stuff to the members area relevant to kind of what they need help with or what they'd like to learn. So that's the creators bundle. And then the first optional kind of extra that you can invest in is the templates and breakdowns. Now, when I say templates, I know I mentioned earlier you've got different sites like CapCut and places like that where they've got standard templates that got all these kind of spinning things and different colors and all that kind of stuff. This isn't like that. This is basically reels that, like, for example, reels that Mario's created that have already had hundreds of thousands or millions of views. So they're already proven to get that engagement and keep people watching. Now we're turning them into templates. So as well as that, with the trend in music, then they're cut into segments. So basically, you'd be able to watch something that's already proven to work. So let's say, for example, it's a real estate, it's a property. And you can say, okay, so this reel, you can see how it's filmed. So you can see the different kind of angles and, inside and stuff like that. So just from that, you would kind of think, okay, well, if I'm going to create that, you can see how many clips are in it. So let's say there's 15 different clips in that one reel. You can think, okay, so I'm going to go and shoot 15 clips, or probably a few extra just in case. And then all I can do is just come back in here and then drop them in to replace each clip. And it's already synced to the music. So you're basically recreating that reel in your location or whatever it might be. And these are reels in all different kind of genres and niches and stuff. Some will be property, some will be activities, some will be all that kind of stuff. So very, very easily to just drag and drop your own footage into it and then download it, and you've got your own reel synced with music. And then as well as that, with the breakdowns, what I suggested to Mario was it's all good learning how to create these things in terms of like the transitions and stuff, but I personally think people need to know more. They need to know, if I'm going to such and such an event or such and such a venue or location, how do I even get started? What do I even think of filming? So each
Full of
breakdown,
inspiration, right?
yeah,
Things just
because rather than, because it's so easy to get somewhere thinking I'm going to create a reel, and then when you get there, you're kind of like, okay, I don't even know where to start. There's so much that I could film. I don't know what to film. So the breakdowns are literally taking videos, and the very first one is breaking down the most viral reel, which had 21.6 million views.
Wow.
Literally taking that and saying, this is what I was thinking, this is how I filmed it, this is how I planned it, this is what I did at that location, and this is why I think it went viral. So from each of those breakdowns, and both the templates and the breakdowns, we're adding every single month. So every month when you invest in that, then you're constantly getting new templates and new reels every single month.
And what's the cost on that upgrade then? What will that be?
So that's $27 a month, which is
27 a month.
extremely low. Or you will have a yearly option as well. So if you want to get it for the year, $197 for the year, which is obviously saving a lot of money, over $100. And then if you whether you choose to invest in the templates or the breakdowns, then if making money from this is something that you want to do, then we've got a whole section on that, monetization masterclass. So that is literally teaching every different opportunity that you've got to make money from your reels, whether it's affiliate marketing, local businesses, and not just going more involved with how to reach out to people. It's got downloadable resources in there, literally everything that you need. If you want to make money doing this, then follow that training. If you want to make money doing this, then follow that. Or if you want to make money doing affiliate marketing, so you're making passive income, do that. And then as well as that, you can go and obviously do local business videos, and there's a number of different options as well. So that is, let me get it right, that's 197. And considering a single, you land a single gig with somebody, you'll be charging at least like $200, $300, $400. We've just had someone reach out to us who've just landed $5,000 gig with a local business.
Brilliant.
Someone's just reached out to us a couple of weeks ago. They're now doing this full time, so they're just creating content full time. So they literally, I love watching their reels, because all they are doing is literally just traveling around, doing stuff that they enjoy doing, and just filming, and that's all they're doing. But obviously with the films, they're enjoyable to watch, but then very subtly they're actually promoting a business, and that's what they're getting paid for. So there's that monetization masterclass. And then finally, if people do want more of a kind of one-to-one or two-to-one kind of connection with us, then we've got a mentoring session that people can join for 297, and that is literally booking a call, jumping on a call with either me or Mario, or in most cases it's actually with both of us. And then you'll have all the experience from Mario in terms of the content creation. I also do this as well, so obviously I help with that. But then also you've got my 10 years knowledge of social media marketing, affiliate marketing, all that kind of stuff, email marketing, everything that's involved in that. So that would be the kind of mentoring, the one-to-one or two-to-one connection with us.
Brilliant, brilliant. So this is all going to begin on Monday. So on Monday, obviously it's $47, but I think you guys are closed now on Friday, right? So it's going up then to 67.
Yeah, it's midnight 28th.
Midnight on the 28th of Feb. Brilliant. So all the information, guys, obviously will be down below. I'll drop a link down there as well with all of my bonuses, everything else that we've put together to make this a complete no-brainer. Now, what I thought we'd do just before we finish off is let's take a quick look at the sales page. Let's have a quick look at what that's all about. Do you want to share the sales page with us and just sort of run us through very quickly so that people can see kind of in action of what they're going to be picking up?
Okay. So can you see my screen at the moment?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So this is the top, and you can see here, look, this is 2.5. It went from 2,500 followers to over 200,000 followers in 1 week. That was just with one reel that he created, from 2,500 to 200,000 followers. So as I mentioned, these really do work a lot. So if we just scroll down, here's just a few examples of some of the reels that he's created: 21.5 million, just under 20 million, 8 million, 10 million. These are just and these are just individual reels, obviously, that have got that many views. So we've got some testimonials, and here's an example of some of the reels that some of our students have made. Okay, and if we just scroll down, then you've also got this, which is kind of like a before and after. So where I mentioned this basically gives you a good indication of what most people are doing when they create reels, and then you've got this, which is totally different. So just as a quick example, in fact, I'll show you some of the other examples, but that's a very good before and after, and people can then see kind of and relate to it. So
what I would recommend as well, guys, if you're watching this and you want to see those, right, you want to see the before and the after, and kind of just see why this is so viral, right? What is it that actually makes it different? Then you can see those videos in the link down below, right? We'll link to some of these videos so you can see for yourself exactly what this is all about, right?
Also, as well, which is mentioned in the main video at the top, and I haven't mentioned this yet. My daughter is 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter creates reels like this with the transitions on her phone. I've shown her probably a couple of times, and now she just does it completely herself. She's 12 years old, and she's entered national competition. She goes to like a performing arts thing. They were given a project to create a 30-second video. She incorporated a couple of these transitions, and she won the whole thing. So
Wow.
she, 12 years old, won the whole competition, like national competition, because of how different these reels are compared to everyone else. I'll just give you a quick example of something like this, and you'll see within the first few seconds how it catches someone's attention. So I'll just play this one here.
Really, watch on my wrist, but I want that tight. Niggas talk crazy when I pull up in sight. Alright, bring that shit back, bitch. I'm stylish. Black top, big t-shirt, Billy. Watch on my.
Okay, so I'll pause it there, and you'll see it just keeps changing, and it keeps people engaged. But also, I don't know if you noticed, right at the beginning, it went from on his bike to in front of the gym. So you notice the gym, you notice the name of the gym. So that's actually promoting the gym. And with hundreds of thousands or millions of views on that reel, that's all those people have seen that gym, especially locally. So that's what I mean about promoting something very, very subtly instead of standing outside of a gym pointing, saying, this is where I go.
Yeah.
So you've got this is just a little list of all the different kind of people that this would be suitable for. A few more reels down here. Like I said, even cooking, you can change it into a very engaging reel. I think this one is actually one that had just under 20 million views, and it's just someone cooking.
Wow.
So we'll just scroll down so you can see we've got all these. This is all the training. So this is kind of like the basics of how you set up your phone camera, how you actually move when you're filming the shots. And that takes you the very basics of it, takes you to create your very first transition. And then this is all the additional transitions. There's absolutely tons of transitions in there that you can use. So any of the transitions that you see, like on the page, we literally show step by step how to create these. And then you've got a number of bonuses as well. So you've got video LUTs to add different colors and that feels to the reels. You've got Lightroom presets, yearly planner, filmmaking tips, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, at the bottom here, you'll see it's just $47. Just during the launch period, then it will go up to $67. So that is
Brilliant.
Creators Bundle. And I'll just give you a quick look inside. So when you actually get into the members area, very easy to navigate. Looks really great on a mobile device as well. And it's just simply a case of coming down. You've got all the downloadable resources here, so you can just download those. And at the top here, if we just go over to Creators Bundle, you've got each of the lessons. So if we just let's go here, and let's just test once. Okay, so we just, I had to log in. So let's just go to here. Or you can see that it's very, very easy to just navigate. There's no kind of sidebars and moving up and down to kind of find what you want. And you can see like here, it's just talking through and literally explaining exactly how to do these kind of transitions. Then you've got the editing. So this is all editing within a free app called VN. And this is where you would use this to in conjunction with the template. So I'll just show you, I won't go too much into this, but the templates is simply a case of coming into this, downloading the app, going like looking at the templates. You can preview it. Okay, and then you could just create something similar to that. This one's got 15 clips. So within the VN app, you would literally take your content, drag and drop it in, and replace the clips. So that's the templates and the breakdowns as well up here, and the monetization and the mentoring. So everything's all in this one area. Very, very easy to navigate. And yeah, that's what's coming soon. That's the VN app. That's the basically free one as well. So it's a free app, and you can use it on.
And this is what you guys use. This is how you've created those, right? Using free tools.
Yep. So this is the one that you use for your templates. There's a couple of different options for the transitions. Some people have asked, can you use CapCut? Yeah, CapCut you can use for it. You can use. We use a few other ones as well, but yeah, all the training's in there. And we're just getting tons of great feedback, and the results, seeing people, the reels that they create, it's so rewarding, and to see that kind of stuff, because you can see how creative they are and all the different ways they're using it, and it's especially rewarding when you hear from people that are now literally just creating content full time. Just that's all they're doing. They're making a living from creating this kind of stuff. So it's great.
Brilliant. Thanks. Thanks for all that, Mark. So, right, guys, if you're interested in this product, full information will be down below this video. You can check that out. I've put together some incredible bonuses for you. So if you choose to pick this up using the link down below this video, you're going to get access to everything you've just seen there, right? $47 one time. You don't have to worry about paying monthly or yearly or anything like that. You get the initial training, $47 one time, and all of the bonuses that I've put below. So drop down below now, grab your copy, and start creating these incredible, captivating, and really unique type of content that you can use, whether it's for local businesses, something that you own yourself, or to go out there and find clients and start making some cash. So I hope you found this video useful. Go ahead, take action, grab your copy now, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye.